You know, when you have an idea for a movie, you would have written a movie script. Back in the day, I wrote 3 movie scripts and produced 3 movies. One was called The Fruit of Forgiveness, Part 1, The Fruit of Forgiveness, Part 2. And the third movie that I wrote, that produced, was called The Devil in a Tie. Maybe I saw things since then. I think I was about 18 or 19 years at the time. And I produced, wrote, directed, produced. I trained the actors. I cast my own actors. 3 films. The length was beneath 1 hour, 40 minutes to an hour. The television stations in Guyana that broadcasted my films were NTN, Channel 69, Channel 6, Channel 9, Channel Robert Persaud's channel. There were 4 television stations that broadcasted my movies, 3. And Channel 4, STVS Channel 4. I wrote it, produced it, directed it. And there are people whom I've casted in my movie. I casted those people in my film. And today they are attacking me on Facebook, on TikTok. They are attacking me. And I gave them their first opportunity. I was not 20 years yet to become stars. Today they're attacking me. The person who edited and filmed and sponsored all 3 of my films, my movies, were Bisham, a man they called Bisham from FX Studio, photo and videographer in Lenora, not far from President Irfan's residence. And yes, Irfan would know about these movies too. FX was the person who believed in my script, who invested time and money and resources to executively produce my 3 movies and helped to direct the films. The people who provided location, accommodation, were in Anna Katrina. There's a lady they called Savo Silal, sideline down Anna Katrina there. They provided free location for the main plot of the movie to be filmed. They're Indians too, Indo-Guyanese. The man who believed in that vision that I had, who believed in the plan that I had, who believed in my ability to deliver, was a man they called Bisham. He lives now in the United States. He was the director of FX Studios in Lenora. His residents were there in Shantytown. I want to repeat, I had no capital to produce those films. I was just about 19 years. A businessman whose job was in that area used his money, his time, his resources, his contacts and connections to invest in my vision, my dream, my project, to make it a reality. And every film he financed, an Indo-Guyanese man. I can go on. I have countless, too much to mention, initiatives, plans, dreams that I've had where nobody else believed in me. Black people believed in me, Indian people did. And they made those dreams a reality. Since I am a kid, since then, I always have some ideas. They never shoved it aside and say, what do you think you're doing? No. They're always encouraged. And not with their words. Yappy, yappy, yappy. No, 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 no. They use their money. We didn't make a profit for those movies. We didn't make a profit. Just cover expenses with advertising after that. But the point is, they invested in the idea because reviewing it, and that was the direction, the plan that was there, it was to accommodate that initiative. Welcome to Uncensored, Guyana. I'm drinking coffee. I'm Dr. L. Prasad. You must realize I'm not the average mainstream, common podcaster, broadcaster, influencer. I'm not the common one. I'm not the ones that you follow. I'm different. And everybody knows that by now. I'm different. You can't compare me to anyone. I'm unique. There's only one Dr. Prasad. My style, everything is just, it's singular. My experience is what drives what I do. My experience. And I want to repeat for the records again. I don't need compensation from Irfan Ali to defend and fight for Irfan Ali. The experience I have with Irfan Ali when he was Irfan, it is immortal. No amount of politicking, no amount of presidential terms can remove that. I don't mind about what Irfan is as an adult, as now. He has to adapt to the circumstances of his life now. But that period of infancy, of innocence, of pureness, I got to see the real soul of the man they call Irfan Ali. I got to experience that. And based on that time, my position shall remain the same. In my eyes, in the eyes of what I'm projecting, President Irfan Ali is the most transparent, accountable, responsible, caring, compassionate, religious, godly, generous, peaceful, absolute perfection leader in Guyana's past, present, and I can say without a doubt, future history. There will be no other like President Irfan Ali. No other. The fact that he has extended himself to the point where he is going to compromise, I hope not, to take people on his private property just to appease the curiosity of people who didn't give a fuck if this asshole didn't invade the space of private property and make propaganda from that. If that were not the case, who would have given a shit? There are people who are working and who have been working for a long time, helping to develop that project. Their relatives know about that. I spoke to somebody today who said they were working there from the beginning. They knew the challenges that the president and all the others had to go through in securing, clearing, and developing that land before it could come to what it is today. But they said they didn't feel a need to tell anybody. What? It wasn't a secret. They were an employee, like many, many others. It was not a secret. They can't understand why this is a political thing today. Why is it breaking news? Why is it being pushed and peddled and spun in such a way that to present it as if the president has done a grave injustice? Maybe his name was called in the Epstein file. That's how it's presented. Like an Epstein saga. You wouldn't think this is nonsense. This people have cleared forested area for housing, for rice farming, for aqua farming. It was not the first time. People have been doing that. Companies have been doing that for ages. This is how you make cities. This is how you develop neighborhoods. This is how you build housing scheme. You have to chop trees down. You have to clear infrastructure, clear the land. You have to full trenches. You have to full swamps. This is something you have to do. It takes years to get it to a place where you can actually start building something. It happens everywhere. Some of the companies who have been doing things like that, I'm going to list some for you. Santa Fe Farm. You would have heard of Santa Fe Farm, right? That is connected to Barbados, businesses in Barbados. Santa Fe Farms. It didn't say Santa Fe Mining. Santa Fe Farms. What farms? When you talk about farms, what comes to mind? Agriculture. What is agriculture? Livestock, fishing, plants, animals. That's agriculture. That's farming. It ain't mining. Santa Fe Farms, one of the largest, there are many. They have acquired, I said yesterday, 29,000 acres of state land, government land. 29,000 since 2010. They're still trying to develop what is left. 8,000 acres is cultivated with rice. 4,000 acres with other livestock and things like that. One of the other farms is Takama Gold. Not farms, rather. Takama Gold. Takama Gold has thousands, almost 8,000 to 16,000 acres of land that they have leased from the state to do what they're doing. Raishan Lin is another company that has secured hundreds of thousands of hectares for forestry, logging and things like that from the state. Mining companies, and rice farmers, just to list a few, that have secured thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of acres of land from the state. Every government, PNC, PPP, every government has facilitated private investors access to land for farming, mining, and other things. President Irfan Ali, Odessa Primus, Odessa Fakmas, President Irfan Ali has secured 150 acres of land. Not 160 or 200 or 500. 150 acres of land. Santa Fe Farm, who is doing something similar to what President Irfan Ali is doing, but on a wider scale, larger scale, they secured 29,000. 29,000. How much did Irfan Ali secure while he was Irfan Ali? Not President Ali, Irfan Ali. How much did he secure? Through the same process like everybody else. You have to come up with a plan, submit it to the Ministry of Housing, Lands and Survey and Agriculture, present, say, hey, I would like to secure at least so much land because of this project. How would your project be funded? This is how it would be funded. They inspect it, they investigate it, they do what they do to everyone who apply for government land to lease for development purposes. Irfan had to go through the same process. When they were satisfied, they signed off on the lease. 99 years for 150 acres. Don't you think, Odessa Primus, don't you think if Irfan Ali had more funding, he would have asked for 500 acres? Because he could have gotten it. Rice farmers get 500 acres to plant rice. People doing logging can get 10,000 acres just to log and whatever else they do. You're telling me that Irfan Ali could not have gotten 200 acres or 500 acres if he had the funding that he could trust and depend on? Of course. But he asked for a small amount that he can manage, that his investors can manage, that would accommodate the loans that he's asking for. He doesn't want to tie himself or his family up for life to pay back bank loans, but to develop 150 acres, and you have a variety of species of what you do. If one don't make a profit, the other one will. It's like a supermarket. Some products stay on the shelf for months. You have to sell them on special sale at discount. It's like a car center. Some cars don't sell at all. You have to just sell them half the price. In the same way, you have a multi-faceted farm. Some items would not go fast, while some would go fast. Your greens can spoil in you. Your fruits can spoil in you. But you always have something you can fall back on. That's what the president has been doing. And still is not in an operational mood yet to earn a profit. Odessa Primus, I choose to address you today because you are trying to be a dick because your boss told you to say something about the case. Because I have said continually that Azruddin is the only one who seemed to be accommodating the fake news that he's pushing, and at the same time contradicting himself. Create the trouble, he moved on to something else. So since I've been saying that, your boss told you, hey man, say something. So it wouldn't seem as if his party is not behind his propaganda. So you decide to come out and say something. Odessa fuckmas. First of all, makeup don't look good on you. Makeup don't look good on you, Odessa. And you are not black and proud. You are not black and proud because you are wearing the Indian hair. Use your own hair. Use your own face, your own skin tone. Don't try to blush it out with makeup created by the white man. At the end of the day, you are not black and proud. So what you coming out and trying to defend your boss or trying to speak on behalf of your boss, and I like how you downplay the boss. You didn't give him much emotions. You were very soft and dismissive, like Anil Nandalal, dismissive. But at the same time, you don't want to piss off people because you know very well this is not something that certainly requires the attention it got. You, Odessa Primus, you very well know that. I mean, in your dumb head, you still can put some ideas together and realize that, hey, this is shit. This is nonsense. So now what you're trying to soft touch with is that President Irfan Ali should give the public a breakdown as to how he acquired the money, the whole process of the bank providing him with money. He didn't come from inheritance. Therefore, he has no capacity to amass that kind of funding for such a massive project. One thing I can give you, Odessa Fuckmas, one thing, is that you and Smelly Smell, you rub pussies together. You know, you grind together because you think the same way, which is the way niggas think. You think like black people. You think like black people. Limited. You understand? You think like a foul pen. You can't go beyond the ceiling. You see bars, and that's where you think your reality stops, at the bars. This is why black men do better in prison. Better in prison. And black women in the kitchen. Because that's where the reality revolves. In the kitchen and fucking prison. You can't think beyond that at possibilities. So because your mentality and all the smelly smells, that they're thinking based on themselves and their upbringing, that they don't have that capacity to produce a plan to any bank to get any loan. They're not projecting that on Irfan Ali, a financial expert. Might I remind you, motherfuckers, Irfan Ali studied statistics in India. Financial statistics. The man is a financial wizard. Ali is a financial genius. He's a money magnet. He was Minister of Finance, right? The man knows how to work money, how to lure investors, how to market, how to sell. He knows exactly. He was that before, long before he got into ministries. This is why they kept him close, because of his brains. Talk to Barra Jaglio. I know you fuckers hate Jaglio, but you want to know about Ali's genius? Talk to Jaglio. He'll tell you. But I know when it comes to money, managing money, investing money, there is nobody else like Irfan Ali. I know that, but for me to present evidence to you, look at Guyana. Look at Guyana. From 2020 to now. Look at the man at the top who spearheaded, advised, directed his cabinet and his government. You see how they have invested Guyana's money? You see? You see how they balance a $1 trillion budget? You see how they spent state money? Look around you. Take it in. If Irfan could do that, could achieve that magnificence from his financial genius and managing money, that he can take care of the entire country with a small budget. You are telling me he is incapable of securing funding for a fucking farm? 5 billion Guyana dollars is 5 billion Guyana dollars. It ain't 5 billion US. It's Guyana dollars. One investor can fund that. One can lend Irfan Ali the money to invest there. One person can do it. You don't need a bank for that. If the bank can lend you losers working on a government salary of 300,000, yes, fuck must. How many of them niggas that are pushing your page and supporting you and typing and say, oh yes, Odessa, you are right. You are right. You should get a fucking green screen and chrome your face. Put like Halle Berry or some presentation, green screen, chrome your fucking face, Odessa, when you're coming online. But all them ugly shit like you, yeah, you get them to support you because they're like, girls, ugly girls together, surf together. We get that. But like I said before, any investor would dish out quickly $1 million US, 5 million US for that project. You have houses in Guyana. You have buildings in Guyana. Buildings in Georgetown. Ask Mohammed. That are priced for $1 million US. Buildings. One building. And you have one person who will go to a fucking bank and get that money to buy the building. $1 million US from a bank in Guyana to buy a building. One businessman can do that. They have done it all the time. You have people who secured contracts from the government of $1 billion, and without a cent at the bank, they can walk into the bank just with the contract and get $500 million loan on the contract from the bank. Just one contract. And you are telling me something as impressive, as genius, as a farm, which is a forever investment. You can't go wrong with that. You don't need parts for it. You don't have to worry about the weather. You don't have to worry about customers. You don't have to worry about the availability of oil. Farm is an all-weather investment. All year round, money comes in. And a bank is going to turn down that project? Rice farmers, they don't own a rice mill. They don't have a combine. They just lease some land from the government. They go to a bank with a program and say, hey, I have 100 acres of land. I want to develop it with rice. I need 50 million, 100 million. You think the bank says, oh, no, You have to come up with your part first. We need security. We need that's how it works. But you niggas wouldn't know that, would you? You fuckers would not know that. Because Odessa Primus, you and fucking Smelly Smell, you don't need a loan to get a purse. To buy a Gucci bag, you don't need a loan for that. You just take your salary. To buy a car, you don't need a loan for that. You just fuck some guy or let some desperate man eat your pussy, give you 20,000, you take it to BM Soats and you get a car, then you pay the rest every month from your salary. So you have no idea what it takes with a bank. Banks look for opportunities to earn money. Banks don't earn money by just lending people money to build a house or buy a house. Banks need the big guys, huge projects. They need to invest. And the Ali project is a small one. 5 billion is a joke. It's a joke. Did I make that clear and comprehensive enough for you, Odessa Primus? Did I do that? And next time you want to come online and say you're politicking or talking things against my president, ask permission. Ask permission. There should be a license against people like you coming on camera. I told you before, I told you in the past. You should be in the background and get one of your relatives who, have a more decent, refined personality. Tell them what to say, but you stay in the background. You hold the camera for them. And I'm serious about that. You think I'm attacking black women? That's what you guys think? Good. Because I am. They're stupid. What did the PNC invest in? All the land that Granger and the others stole. What are they doing with it? Just like what their Mohammeds are doing. The Mohammeds, they have a lot of land on the East Bank. A lot of land. What are they doing with it? Nothing. It's just there. They threaten them niggas that if you go and squat, you will have problems. Make me understand that Anel Nandalal is not behind this shit. Because the Mohammeds have an issue with people squatting on their land. The Mohammeds have an issue, as we all know, with people, black people, squatting on their land that they claim belongs to them. Leased land. And somehow, the only convenient item Anil Nandalal seemed to be talking about is squatting because it favors the Mohammeds, because the Mohammeds have issues with squatters. So Anil wants to warn the public that squatting is wrong. Therefore, people will not squat on the Mohammeds' land. It's coffee. President Irfan Ali shall be president. The man is innocent. He has not committed a crime. He has not committed a crime against the Guyanese people because it's not the Guyanese people's money. The Guyanese people's money is what they earn at the end of the month. It is not taxpayers' money because most of Guyanese don't pay taxes. Most don't pay taxes. What the Mohammeds owes the state is by law, not by choice, by law. The law says you must pay royalties on gold. The law says you must declare taxes from businesses. The law says if you import vehicles, luxury vehicles up beyond a certain grade, you pay the equal amount in taxes. The law says that. The Mohammeds broke the law. They cheated the law. They committed crime against the law. Gun smuggling is against the law. Drugs is against the law. Criminal gangs is against the law. Ain't nothing to do with fucking tax. It has to do with they broke the law. They are criminals. Criminals. That's what it is. They knowingly broke the law and conspired to break the law. This is way, way, way dangerous. If a simple businessman in Guyana, in Georgetown, a simple businessman with a bread stand does not declare his taxes, give him 5 years, and the state catches up with him, he gets imprisonment. They jail him, confiscate his properties. Even after his business would have failed, he still got to pay those taxes. A simple businessman trying to hustle. And you got a family that historically began in corruption, continued breaking the law, all kinds of bad businesses, funded terrorism, funded criminal activities, funded the Phantom Squad, funded assassination, funded murders, and you're comparing that Odessa fuckmus to a decent man? It's not Irfan Ali's security guard arrested for murder. It's Azruddin's, your boss. His security guard is arrested for murder. The internet have been calling, crying out for justice for Paper Shorts. That young man that was murdered, that child that was murdered, and all these other criminal cases for years for justice. And finally, now they decide to arrest the security, personal security to Azruddin Mohammed. All you win people talk that one away. Oh, blame that on the PPP. Say that Ali sent the police for that man. Because the man himself say they're other people. Why just him? They're other people. Okay, fine. Then he's going to reveal who the others are. Azruddin Mohammed, the man that you were sticking your neck out for, his personal security is arrested in connection with a high-profile killing of Paper Shorts. For years, the entire Guyanese public had the opinion that Azruddin himself is involved in that murder. Himself. Now you got somebody close to him, his employee, arrested. And you're still pushing that man's propaganda? Do you know how much money he has to pay that security and all the other people to keep their mouth quiet? But the thing about it is that ever so often, positions are recycled. You have to keep bribing the system all your life to make certain things go away. This is the end of it, Azruddin. Either way, you're going down. Either way, you are going down, Muhammad. So go pick on ExxonMobil. You're the big boy now. What, you getting protection from Anil Nandalal? We'll see how much he can protect you. We will see how much Anil Nandalal can protect you, Azruddin. There is so much your sponsors can do. There's so much. In my gut feeling, until proven otherwise, this whole plot against Irfan Ali, this whole campaign, all this leaking propaganda and all this inside information that has seemed to be coming out, it is my opinion that there is a powerful force within the PPP whom I, in my opinion, has identified as the Attorney General that is behind this. There is a massive conspiracy to discredit, to bring down, to cause chaos in the Ali government so as to have early elections or to force a resignation if it's possible, or to see how best they can do what they did Granger, no confidence, just so that Anand Nandalal can get some chance by some miracle to be president. It's my opinion. So Azruddin, go after ExxonMobil. You're picking on them now, right? You're talking about pipeline. You are now hitting the Americans where you think it might hurt them. You are now talking about another conspiracy to cover up another $1 billion. That makes it $6 billion. Another conspiracy to cover up another $1 billion involving a pipeline, ExxonMobil, all the oil companies. You are hitting dangerous territories. You think Anil can protect you from that? You think he has that power? You think that's how long his hands can reach? We shall see. But in the meantime, the Guyanese public understands that all of what you are doing, Azruddin Mohammed, is to buy time, buy freedom. And I tell you, as an outsider, most of Guyana is behind President Irfan Ali. Most of Guyana and the young people are inspired by President Irfan Ali. I am thinking of getting involved in agriculture myself. I will apply to the government of Guyana for land so I can get involved in the same business the president is getting involved in. I may not get involved at that scale, but I want to get involved in the same kind of business. The market is there. Why not exploit it? Before foreigners go and just present their plan to the government and get access to Guyana's land, to develop Guyana's land, while the citizens are just buying cars, going to shows. That's what they're doing. It takes vision, it takes bravery and discipline to take risk of that magnitude, which is very small. You heard of people investing in airline companies coming to Guyana. That's a risk investment. They have to have banks backing them. Those people who come there brought their businesses. They can't come there on their own financial status. They have to show, at least for the next 5 years, they have a consistent cash flow overdraft from whatever banks covering their operations. They have to show that. Because you can't start a business, then you run out of cash after 6 months, people lose their jobs, you embarrass the whole system. No, you got to show that you can cover this thing for at least 5 years. And who do you think steps in to back you? If the government don't back you, banks have to back you. Not even private investors. Banks have to back you. So you have people investing in airline, you have people investing in hotels, you have people investing in all kinds of projects in Guyana, because whatever country they're from, the banks in those countries are backing them. You don't need to put assets as security. It's called funding. The same way the IMF funds projects. They fund a road, they fund some development, the World Bank funds some development. It's funding. You pay back over a period of time. But you see, Odessa Primus and all these others, you don't have the capacity to understand that. And something I want to compliment you on is that you try to use your voice in such a way to compensate for your lack of presentation. But don't catfish us, Odessa. We can see what we're listening to. If it's on the phone and nobody knew who you were, and on the phone, maybe you might get some guy dick hard. But if he has to look at you and listen to you, there's a conflict of interest. His dick is telling his mind, what the fuck is wrong with you? Aren't your eyes working? Behave yourself. Look at the person you're listening to. And don't waste my time trying to get me up to fuck that. Match the voice to the face. I rather a pretty face with a fucked up voice, because at least you don't need a voice when you're fucking. You need a good face to watch them. But in your case, Odessa, you have to keep going and fucking yourself. But my president and your president don't have to explain to nobody. No committee, no parliament, nobody. He has done nothing wrong. He has a right as a private citizen, when he was a private citizen, to acquire land like everybody else, to approach banks like everybody else, to invest like everybody else. As a president, when he's done being presidential, then he shall go and run his business like Donald Trump had done. Like many presidents had done. They were businessmen, they became president, they put it on hold. After that, they go back to their business. That's it. Stop presenting my president as if he was some lowlife growing up, some fucking black ghetto he was from shit. Stop presenting the man like that. Talk to people who grew up with him, who knew the family. Talk to them. They'll tell you. You don't have to be born in drugs, gold smuggling, gun smuggling, women smuggling, like the Mohammeds, to be able to amass or invest or attract investors for a project. No, you don't. All you need is a decent plan, common sense initiative, and go to any bank. Any bank. If one lend you so much, you can go to another one and say, hey, I got so much from this one. I need the rest from you. And as a president, people will run to lend you money. They won't even bother you to pay them back. That's the power you have when you are in office. I'll give you an example. Both sides, Guyana and Suriname. When I ran in the television business, and I walk into a store as Dr. Love, and I look at the product, the owners would say, do you like it? Yeah. How much it costs? Don't worry about the price. You can have it. You're Dr. Love, you can have it. And they give it to me. Why do you think they do? Because they know I'm going to go on my show and talk about it. And I'm going to paint a nice picture, how nice these business people were. They were so kind to me. That's good marketing for them. And they know if they had to pay me to actually say something on their behalf, it might be 3 or 4 times the price of the item they just gave me for free. That's sense. The same thing like a president. Businesses that wants access, they're always nice to people connected to the president. because they want somebody put in a nice word for them. It happens in every country on the earth. Ask Anil Nandalal. That's why he wants to be president. The same way how Ashruddin talked that he has more secrets, more things he wants to bring out. Oh, I have a lot. Oh, yeah. I have a lot. You have no idea how much information I have. So you go drop your stuff, Ashruddin. I'm going to drop mine too. And the stuff that I have, oh yeah, incredible. The only unfortunate thing with the stuff I have is that it's going to concrete the connection with the suspicions that most of you already have regarding the people in the PPP that are feeding the Mohammeds with information, with propaganda against the president, and why they're doing it. And why they're doing it. Those are the information I have. And some of the names will shock you as to who are the people in the PPP trying to bring down the government. It will shock you. So Ashruddin Mohammed, you and your fucking father, go ahead and bust the bubble. Give out the information, spread your propaganda, push your lies, get your people to carry it. Do your thing. Do your thing. You think Guyanese think that some low-level staff in the Ministry of Public Works or the Ministry or these ministries, you think they believe that some low-level staff is leaking information to you? You think the whole ExxonMobil thing and the pipeline that you were coming out and talking about pipeline damage, you think that came from some construction worker on the rig? It came from the top. It came from the top. And it ain't the president, nor the vice president, nor Vikram Bharat. None of these people, neither is Mustafa, none of them have anything to gain from trying to destroy their government because they don't have presidential ambition. Mustafa, people want him to be president after Irfan Ali, but he's not interested. Maybe he don't think he can be as calm as Ali to take all these hits that are coming Ali's way. Maybe Mustafa thinks he would fight back. I mean, literally fight back. He's going to slap and bitch slap that little shithead Muhammad, but he wouldn't be around. He wouldn't be around. So Zokar Mustafa, Ashruddin would not be a problem. Nobody else is going to do that nonsense he's doing. So you're safe. You just have to deal with Campbell and the gang of gays. They're the ones you have to deal with. And you know, they're not into that kind of ghetto low-life stuff. They want people to think that they're upscale. So they behave a certain way. At least they have some kind of style and class. That opposition party they have class. When they're making propaganda, they wear suits and makeup and tie. They're not fucking ghetto and low life like this pussy opposition leader, accidental opposition leader, minister of floods and lies and gossip. What's the other one? Farms. And farms too. Yeah, they are beyond that. They are above that. So Minister Mustafa, Zolkar Mustafa, you don't have to deal with Muhammad as president. You'll deal with Aubrey Norton and the others because Aubrey ain't going anywhere. No matter what he says, he's not going anywhere. He will run again. He wants that $2 million a month. And then the money will raise. $3 million. He won that money. You think he's going to retire at 70? He will make comparisons. Hey, Trump is 80 years old and he's president. He ain't gonna retire at 70. Rum still exists. I don't think they're gonna ban alcohol anytime soon. So Norton can still get his alcohol and even more as opposition leader. Why can't Odessa Primus ask him and those other persons out of government from the PNC where they're finding their money from to do what they're doing right now? They're making massive investments too. Ask them, Odessa, how can they afford the investment they're making on the salary as parliamentarians? How can you, Odessa Primus, afford the makeup you're using on your parliamentarian salary? Oh, you work for a billionaire. I forgot. I did. I wasn't thinking straight. Shit happens. I think we're getting somewhere now with a court system. I saw the sentence those two idiots that murdered those teenagers in Berbice. Then I saw the sentence somebody else who murdered a businessman, life in prison. Now you're making sense. Now you're making sense. Life in prison for murder. Since you can't do capital punishment, do life in prison. Now you're making sense. No. All them cases that you sentence them to 10 years, 11 years, and 15 years for murder, you should recall those cases and send all those people who have killed people life in sentence. Give them life. And they must serve 35 years or 50 years before they're eligible for parole. Do that. You're making sense now. Now you're making sense, of course. That's what Guyanese want to see. You kill somebody, you get life in prison. You attempt to kill somebody, you get life in prison. It makes sense. I applaud that. The judicial system is waking up. We want to see more of that. For murder, life sentence. For robbery, 50 years. For snatching, as 10 years. Makes sense. Anyway. All those people who wanted to attack me because of what I talked about, this teenage girl who is the public information, go fuck yourself. Okay? I mean that. To the women who seem to think that they have the right or the doorway or the passageway to, you want to approach me via whatever and say what you say, go fuck yourself. And fist yourself. Because you're that big. A dildo won't work for you. That's why you're single. Fist. Use. If your hands are that long, use your hand and fist yourself. That's the only way you can pleasure yourself with your fist. Because your pussy is that big. Yeah, there are pussies that are big. And for the fellas, let me say this to you. You seem to be aggressive with your text messages. You seem to be aggressive, right? You're the big guy. You're brave. You got to show your toughness and approach me face to face. Then you can say something. Then you're tough. You're the tough guy, you know. Approach me. Don't come with a gun or a knife. Come with your fist. That's how you do it back in the day. You want to prove that you're a real man? Come alone. Come with your bare hands. Let's trash it out. Because if you come with weapon, you don't know what I have, so I can't say it online. You come with people, you don't know who I have. I can't say it online. Either way, come. Wherever you are. You're in Suriname? Come. You're in Guyana? When I'm there, I'll let you know. I'll be there soon. Come. I don't bluff. And I don't make threats. But I'm prepared. So come. To the rest of you, go to Amazon.com, type Kenny Warner author, or just type Prince Ali and the President. And you see all the books there. It's summertime. Instead of being all day on social media, read a book. Entertain your mind. Support the books. The Dorga Foundation thanks you for all the persons who have since purchased books, for all the persons who have reached out with their donations. Thank you. And by the way, I appreciate the people who have reached out for my birth anniversary. I didn't say anything, but it was yesterday. Yesterday. I don't like the attention. But I've said it's July, but a lot of you seem to forget. What, you don't want to send that love gift? Okay, never mind. It's passed already. So now you can say, well, Dr. Prasad, why didn't you say something? I wanted to send a love gift for you. And now you have an excuse not to send it. But I want to thank the very sweet individuals who went above and beyond to make sure that they have it on their calendar. So on that day, they made sure that they say, hey, I remembered. You are my angels. I thank you. I'm grateful and blessed to have you around. It's an honor. It's a privilege. So yes, they're Indians. Indian people. There we go again. He's always praising Indian people. Yes, I have to. I have to. They deserve that. Come on, man. I think this is a joke. Like I said before, the amount of stories I have of my life, it's amazing. It's amazing. You would think I would just build a temple and put all the gods and goddesses as Indian people and worship them. If I should give you the story of my life. Because they were the gods, the angels, that has always been in my pathway throughout my life. Left, right, front, and back. They have always been the ones who carried me throughout my life. What do you think I'll say at this point? Black people? That's what you want me to say because I must support everything niggas do? Because I'm black, I should by default support the PNC or talk against so-called crimes against black people? No, black people have done nothing to contribute to who I am today. Nothing, not even in school, not even as a kid. As a kid, they took from me. My early businesses, they destroyed it. My business in Suriname, they destroyed it. I mean, come on, don't let me start talking. I have a lot of issues with black people, a lot. The list is so long. But I don't say it, I don't talk about it. Because I realize that you can't change the people's ways. That's how they are. If they can fight to bring down a president as great, as kind, as beautiful as President Ali, what do you think they'll do to me? That man did nothing to them. He's doing everything for them. Look how they're destroying him or trying to destroy him. I'm the president. You think I'll be spared? Knowing that I'm accused of not talking for black people or promoting black people? What is there to promote? Nothing. They don't do anything. They don't build anything. They own nothing. They wrote nothing. All their leaders are scammers. All their pastors are crooks and criminals. So what is there to promote? What is there to talk about? They're a bunch of lowlifes. The worst race in the history of humanity is the black race. The worst. Tell the ERC I just said that. Tell them I just said that. Obama was president. How many black people he had on his staff? How many black ministers he had in his cabinet? And he was the first so-called black president. Mulatto. Half white, half black. He was the first. But how many blacks he had on his staff? So if Obama knew they were a waste of time, low energy, stumbling blocks, you want me to say good things about them and there's nothing good to talk about? Martin Luther King. Who were his advisors? Even Marcus Garvey. Who were the people that funded him? He took money from. Not black people. Nelson Mandela. Haile Selassie. Who were their saviors? Not black people. Black people killed them. White people. Indian people. And you want me to say good things about blacks? There is nothing good to talk about. Nothing. Other than sports and music. And I'm not into sports, and I can't dance. Okay? I'm not into sport, and I can't dance. Therefore, there's nothing I can talk about. Share this live. If you don't share it, somebody else will. Follow me on Facebook, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, on TikTok, like on TikTok, follow me on these channels. Make sure that you raise the numbers. This is about you raising the numbers. We have to be as loudest and louder than Azruddin Muhammad and his propaganda page so that we can reach more people and let the folks understand that the lies they're spreading against our president is what it is, lies. But you have to share this message, spread this message, push this live, push this program. And if they attack you on social media, attack them back. If they approach you in public and they tell you something, respond accordingly. If they get physical with you, use weapon against them. But don't allow their bullyism to coward you from standing for right, truth, and justice. Stand up against those bullies, regardless of who they are. Stand up against them. Until next time. Thanks for your attention. Goodbye.